When I was in ninth grade, this is wrestling and losing weight. When I was in ninth grade, I started wrestling, and I had to wrestle a young man who was both my best friend and probably my biggest nemesis or bully. He was always picking on me and bugging me, in my eyes. And so I was always kind of scared of him. But in the same breath, he would protect me from other young men. One guy that he protected me from, I'm not going to tell you his name, but this young man became a professional basketball player. And he was bugging me one day in the halls up at North Ogden Junior High, and my friend came and grabbed him and shoved him up against the wall and said, "Leave Bruce alone." So he was my nemesis, or I guess if you call it that, kind of a bully me and taunt me and tease me all the time, and he was my protector. In fact, there was a show called My Bodyguard when I was younger, and I related a lot of that to this guy who was kind of both a bully and a protector. But anyway, I had to wrestle him in front of the entire junior high after he had teased me and taunted me my whole life since third grade. And I ended up beating him in the front of the entire junior high, which made me feel a lot more strong and powerful against him. And I stopped putting up with his taunting and teasing after that event. But in that situation, it was found that I got to wrestle, and I learned I kind of got empowered by that. So as a sophomore, I played football, and then my coach at the end of the year says, "Hey, we want you to wrestle for our team at Weber High School." I was a sophomore. His name was Coach. I can't remember his name right now, but a really nice guy. Maybe I'll think of it in a minute. Anyway, I wrestled as a sophomore, won several matches, maybe about 40% of my matches, 50% of my matches. Then I wrestled as a junior, and I lost every match but one. And I wrestled as a senior and won all my matches except for one up until about half the season, maybe 8 or 12 matches. There wasn't that many matches because I got cancer and I was unable to finish the season in wrestling. But anyway, in wrestling, my coach talked me into going down to 155, and I was 176 to 180 at the time, so I went clear down to 150, 151. I lost like 26 pounds. It was a horrible thing, but I got to leather, which was cool. But I got my butt kicked every single practice. Every single practice, I got the crap kicked out of me by Jay, who was a year younger. I think he was a year younger. By the older kids like Dennis and Dennis and Dave, who's I think he's like a naval captain or a naval commander or some kind of a Navy general, a naval general or something like that. He's an admiral. That's what he is. Dave is an admiral. They kicked my butt every practice. Just kicked the crap out of me my junior year because I was losing weight. I was weaker than them, and they just kicked the crap out of me all the time. However, during the year, my senior year, I got hurt in football, and once I got my shoulder hurt in football, I felt a lump in my shoulder, and within a month or so, it grew to be the size of a marble. It grew quite quickly, and I was found that I had cancer. So I went and Dr. Nelson operated on me. They found out it was cancer. I'll talk probably a little bit more about this later on. I went in for another second operation. They didn't cut it all out. And then a third operation where Dr. Charles Smart, Elizabeth Smart, who got kidnapped by that knucklehead, whatever his name was, Elizabeth Smart's grandpa, Charles Smart, was my doctor, my cancer doctor at LDS Hospital, Charles Smart. He called me his wounded eagle. He was a good man. He was the one that last took all the muscle out of my shoulder. They were going to take my arm off, but they ended up just taking a big portion of my shoulder off, and a shoulder and my chest off, and they had to sew my arm way back together like this, and I pulled it out like that. But I was never able to wrestle after that. But I love wrestling. It's a great sport. But I would trade in all the sports that I did. I'd at the very least like to trade in playing football for being a great skier. I wish I could have went skiing. I wish my dad would have said, "Would you like to play football or would you like to ski?" I would have skied. I would have been a great skier. I love skiing. So it's important as a parent for you to ask your kid, "Do you want to play this sport or do you want to play another sport? What do you want to do? Not what does the coaches and the parents want you to do? What do you want to participate in?" That's what I would encourage all parents to say.